Well, the conversation today or the talk today is colorful to the core. And I think each one of us is unique and special. We're all born with a little unique something that is ours alone. And as we begin to celebrate that and really acknowledge it for all that it is, we start to see how life flows with a greater sense of ease and grace, with a greater degree of comfort. And success and well-being seem to follow right behind that. So I wanted to share with you a story. And this story is of a remarkable individual who is living their life on their terms. Now diagnosed with MS and struggling to, deal with day-to-day life and the constant changes that seem to come with MS, they have made it their journey to simply do the best they can in every single moment. And so on a bad day, they may allow themselves, 24 hours to kind of have that little pity party and then turn around and go, okay, now what? Now what? What can I create? And what's interesting is that this individual has this really positive attitude about, what is. I can't change what is, so I may as well find a way to accept it, to live with it, and to move forward from it. So I love that story because here is somebody, even when doing their doctorate, they had a time of being blind and actually asked their professor if the professor would please read the exam to them so that they would be able to answer the questions. And they managed to pass with really high marks. The journey that we're on and the way that we live it is really unique to us. And when we consider that each one of us is born unique and special, we start to acknowledge that it's not that I have to be better than somebody else or the same as somebody else, but rather I am my own person. I'm a unique individual, a unique individualization of the infinite creative potential of the universe. And as I start to understand that or comprehend that, I start to see what life could be. What it could be. Now, it might not be there yet, but the reality is that if I can really sit in what is, accept each day as it comes, and instead of judging it bad or wrong, simply sit in the experience of, now what? It is in the now what that there's a bit of curiosity, there's a question that could be really, really powerful and positive moving forward. So life is flowing in ways that, sometimes we have no idea where things are going, and that's okay. Because truly, how could we know? But what I love is that when we come to accept that there's only one of me, and the way I'm created is perfect, right? I was created to bring something into this universe at this time, something that assists in the expansion, the growth, the creation of consciousness here on planet Earth. And so what I bring matters. And being able to really acknowledge that and get excited about that and allow that to be what, we're really striving for. So sometimes, unfortunately, sometimes we are striving to be acceptable to others. And it's not that that's a bad thing, but if it means that I can't be myself, then it starts to cause problems. See, if I'm trying to please you and I have to go against my own values to do that, that is a fail on my part. But most of us do it at some point in time or another. I know I've done it many times over. So what is it that we really want out of life? What is it that we'd really like to create? And we think about the other idea of colorful. What I love about that is that each one of us has a unique way of speaking, of seeing the world. We have a unique way of perceiving the conditions around us. We have a unique way of dressing and showing up in the world. Our food choices might be unique to us. And whatever it is, if we can come to a place of accepting that, that makes all the difference in the world. Now, one of the things I've run across quite a lot in my ministry is people who have these remarkable gifts, but turn around and take that remarkable gift that they have, and they set it aside because for them it's really easy. And so there's the perception that if it's easy for me, it's easy for everybody. But what if it's not? What if easy is only easy for us because it is our natural creative expression? What if what's easy for me means that that's for me to do? Because I can do it easily and comfortably. There's a part of us, I remember it years ago for myself even going, oh, it's so hard, this is so hard, that is so hard. And, in this teaching we talk about our words have power. And if I'm talking about how hard everything is, if I have a belief that somehow everything is hard and difficult, if that's the languaging I'm sending out, if those are the thoughts that I'm thinking, if that's what I believe, then I'm going to end up experiencing things that match that idea. Now, do I want my life to be hard? No, I want it to be comfortable, easy, joyful. But if in my mind I go, oh, this is so hard, then I begin to move things around me in such a way as to satisfy that belief. So the universe only ever says yes. And because it says yes to me, what is it saying yes to? And what I love this month, of course, this is Pride Month, and today is Pride Sunday. And so when I think about pride, I'm thinking about my own unique expression, right? What is mine to do? What is yours to do? And if we can begin to honor each person's individual path, if we could honor each person where they are, as they are, what happens is we start to create a more peaceful and sustainable way of living in our world. We see a lot of chaos these days. There's lots of wars going on around the world, some of them more extreme than others, some of them getting more attention than others. And we look at that and go, well, how does that happen? Why is that the case? And, well, I'm not going to guess as to why that's the case, although I have my own feeling about it and what it might be. Here's the thing. You were created unique and special. You were created as one of a kind. Now, even if you're a twin, you're still one of a kind. Because even with twins, there's not exact sameness. How do I know that? Well, I have a twin brother and sister. They're the youngest of my siblings. And my brother has twin daughters. They're very different from one another. And then we have numerous friends who've had twins. And again, you can start to, you might not be able to tell them apart very easily when they're first born, little babies, but as they begin to show who they are and show their personality and the things that they really love, you start to see how unique and remarkable they are. The mistakes that we often make is instead of sort of celebrating the uniqueness of each individual, we, as a parent, for example, if we have, let's say we have 4 kids and we want to treat all of them the same. Have you ever heard a parent say that? I treat all my kids the same. Well, that's a huge red flag because your children are not all the same. And so all the same things are not going to work for all of the children. Might work for one, might work for 2, might work well in a sense, but in the long run, somebody's getting left out. So what do? I know for me as a parent, it was a bit of a challenge when I came to realize that I had to parent my youngest son very differently from his older brother. I had no idea. I didn't know. But as I started to do that, I started to realize the value of it. You see, if I could see each of them as individuals, if I could see each of them as perfect, whole, and complete, unique expressions of the one divine energy, if I do that, then not only am I experiencing who they really are, possibly, but they get to see what it feels like to be accepted as they are, where they are. It's a powerful thing. It's a really powerful thing. The journey that we're on is really a lifelong journey forward, journey into the unknown. Because we don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. We don't even know what next week or even the next hour, what that's going to bring. Things change. And especially in the world where there are big events that are going on. What is it that I'm doing? How am I being? What can I do different or better? You see, life's happening, whether I like it or not. Life is happening. And it's happening so beautifully. It really is remarkable. I'm so filled with joy when I think about the work that we do and the way that we do it. See, life is just life. It's a journey. And it's a journey without a destination. And the best thing that we can do on this journey is explore our inner life. How do we do that? Well, as we've talked about many times in these services or classes, taking time in prayer is important. You know, sitting back and setting an intention and deciding what's best is really important. Taking time to celebrate the wins that come, to acknowledge them, and to be grateful for them, but also to recognize our own unique gifts and talents. And you know that thing that you do that is so easy? You know the thing. The thing that you go, oh, anybody could do this. You know that thing? We all have it. We all have a little something that's just really unique to us. That's super easy for us to do. Now, sometimes because it is so easy, we get a little bit, maybe, it doesn't have much value, it's too easy. But what if it's only easy for us? Only us. Nobody else. Nobody else is going to find it quite as easy as what I do. So, when I think about my life journey, I think about the ups and downs and the challenges I faced throughout the years. And a lot of those challenges came out of my own resistance to be where I was, to do what was in front of me to do, and to celebrate moment by moment whatever was going on. But more often than not, things would happen. And then we're like, oh, why would that happen? How am I going to change that? How am I going to make it different? What do I need to do next? And there's all of these questions and all of these challenges that can come up because I'm trying to manipulate the universe. Cannot be done. Just a heads up on that. Cannot be done. So where does that leave me? If I can't do the things that I think I want to do or I think might work for me or whatever, I can't do that, then how do I begin to create from a sense of real harmony and bliss and joy? How do I do that? How do I get there? And the bonus is you're already there. That within us is every single thing we will ever need. Nothing's been held back. Absolutely nothing. So when I sit in that and I go, wow, I know what it is I need. I know what is necessary to be fulfilling this. I know all of these things. And because I know them, I can take a breath. And I can stand in the moment and know that whatever's difficult will pass, whatever's great will pass. Things are always changing, things are always moving. And because things are always moving and changing, I can relax and just let it be. You see, we're here not to be perfect. We're here not to just get it right. We're here not to put in time, but rather to be here experiencing life in the human form. Yeah, sounds easy, right? Yeah, it's really easy. Until such time as we sit back and realize that, wow, there's other things I could have been doing, or people are wondering, why didn't you do this? Or you should do that. When was the last time somebody told you should do something? Or you should feel a certain way? Like, we've all had these moments of illumination where somebody has kind of stepped into our lane and chosen what it is that they think we should think, say, or do. But what if instead of that, instead of living from somebody else's perception of my reality, what if I lived from my own perception? That I lived from a place of curiosity and imagination, that I would envision a life that was powerful and fun and interesting and satisfying and rewarding. What if I did all that? What if I did all that? How might that change the way I look at life, the way I look at the world, the way that I look at my children and my spouse? What if by standing in my authentic truth, then what? What would come of that? What would happen as a result of that? See, we have within us this infinite potential. And the way we tap into it is moving our awareness from out there to in here. We begin to look within ourselves. We begin to explore that inner potential. We start to see the gifts and talents we have, and we respect and honor them. I don't know how many times I've heard people talk about their job, right? And maybe it's a job they're really, really good at. But they look at it and go, well, yeah, I do it great, and it's great for people, but I would like to do something that would make me famous. Well, what are the odds of us being famous? What are the odds that I'm going to get there? What are the odds that fame is even what I want? What is it that I need? What is it that I'm ready for? If we could really, truly just sit back and accept each moment as it is, to fully embrace the unknown. Because truthfully, we have no idea. We have no idea what's what, or what we're missing, or what could be. We have no idea. So how do we change that? What do we do differently to begin to shift things in a way that is really satisfying for us? So we had some quotes this week, and one of them is, we are all just a little unique, for each wears a different face, but behind each is the one presence, God. Unity does not mean uniformity. Unity means that everything draws its strength, its power, and its ability from the one source. That's powerful stuff. That's powerful stuff. When we come to realize that this power that's in the universe is exactly what's built my body, it's the mind that I think with, it's the journey that I'm walking, it's everything that exists. And when I can relax into that awareness and understanding, I begin to see what is possible for me. So I wanted to share a couple more quotes with you. This one also is by Ernest Holmes. We are all just a little unique, for each wears a different face, but behind each is the only presence, God. Unity does not mean uniformity. Unity means that everything draws its strength, its power, and its ability from the one source. So that statement, that idea that everything I have need of, I get from this one source. I don't need to go somewhere else. I don't need to buy it or pay for it. All I need to do is acknowledge where it is. In the book, The Essential Ernest Holmes, it's written, incarnated within each one of us is not only a divine spark, or not only an incarnation of the living spirit of the cosmos, but a unique presentation of the cosmic whole. So a unique presentation of the cosmic whole. That also was written by Ernest Holmes. This next one is, it's from the book 365 Science Mind. There's a pattern of God behind our personality, seeking unique expression through it. And this, too, we acknowledge, should surrender everything we are. For this surrender will not lead us away from reality. It's not an escape, but a revelation and instrumentation of something greater than we appear to be. Wow. So there's something about me that's far greater than I'm aware of. There's something about me that's far more miraculous or gifted than I even know. And if we can relax into that, it doesn't matter whether, we're a Mensa person or just your average Joe. The reality is that we have within us everything we need. That changes the game. That creates a great level of excitement and delight. The idea that God is within you and every living thing. Just let that settle. God is within you, just like every little thing. It changes how we look at the journey that we're on and the things that we do. And there's some questions that you could ask yourself as you explore over this week. How are you colorful to the core? And are you comfortable with it? Some people are very flamboyant and they dress in beautiful, bright colors and they're really excited about life and they laugh a lot and they speak loudly. And then there's others who are more quiet and subdued. So who's right? Both are. What can you do to become more comfortable with your colorfulness and your uniqueness? So what can we do? I think part of it is really sharing our gifts and talents and then talking to friends and family about the talents that we have and what is their reaction, or talking to a complete stranger about what it might be. The other question I wanted you to contemplate is, what identities do you affiliate with and are you comfortable with them? How would you change them if you chose to? Again, it's another way of looking at things. When we think about our personal practice, if we take some time to allow our own unique, authentic, colorful core to shine bright, then we begin to see what that changes into as we begin to open up. As you ask yourself, are you hiding? Sometimes we're hiding. Sometimes we hide the gift that we have. We're not sure how it's going to be received. We're maybe not sure of what we should do with it. And so there's some questions that might be going on with us. And how do we get around those? How do we begin to move forward? And I think it's really about loving ourselves. Can I love myself enough to do what it is that I need to do? Not what somebody else needs to do, not what somebody else told me to do, not what somebody thinks is probably the best thing to do. There's something in us that is absolutely unique and special, remarkable and beautiful. And if we can just relax into that and then watch what everything does, watch how things unfold, we will soon start to see the difference. Many of you have heard of Ho'oponopono. It is a sacred Hawaiian prayer. And it's one of just this powerful, positive way of speaking truth. It includes 4 phrases that can have long-lasting effects of healing, clearance, and abundance. So the prayer is, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Yeah, pretty simple. But think about that for a minute. As we begin to speak about, wow, I love you. I forgive you. Wow, there's something in that energy that feels really, really good. So in the material for this week is, as we work on moving with holy boldness through this time of grand rising, a space of newness is being created. We're setting intentions for repentance, forgiveness, love, and gratitude. And we can begin by incorporating the sacred prayer into our spiritual practice. Prayer I sent you already. From there, listen up as it will be revealed through our chain. If someone comes up in your spirit to do this prayer with, notice and do not ignore it. And that's sometimes, the biggest challenge, right? How do I not get swallowed up in whatever's going on in any given moment? How is it that I manage to deal with or work through whatever's going on? So that's the journey that we're on. So as we come to a conclusion here, what I would like to say is that you are enough, that you are created, unique, and special. There's something about you and something you bring into life at this time that only you can bring it. Okay? No one else can do what you do the way you do it in the manner in which you will. And so that's what I would like you to remember, that you are enough, that you are unique and special, that you are created perfect, whole, and complete, and that by living from that understanding, you free yourself from all the discord, disconnect of day-to-day living that can cause such great frustration. You really are remarkable. Thank you.